Hey, good morning, everyone. I'll wait for a few minutes till I see that there's some people on. Let me know that you're here. Say hello. Let me know that you're here. Trying to see if I am on. Okay, I'm not seeing it yet. Okay, I see a couple people that are coming on. Good. Hopefully I can see the comments today. I'm not seeing any comments yet, but that's okay. If I don't see your comments, I will always reply to them afterwards. I'm trying to look at it on my... Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Okay, so I see a couple comments on my other phone, but I don't see it on the one that I'm using. But that's all right. We will figure it out. We will figure it out. So, it is Tuesday. This is Tuesday Talks at 10:30. My name is Stacy Niedenthal. This is Connecting to Spirit with Stacy, where I come to you every Tuesday and we talk about different things. We talk about meditation. We talk about grief. We talk about death and dying. We talk about coming back home. All these things that maybe you're not always comfortable in speaking to other people about. Because, some of the subjects are a little difficult to talk about. And it's kind of one of the topics we're talking about today is a little difficult to talk about. So let me know that you're here. If this is the first time you've been on, put a 1 so that I can personally welcome you. Again, I'm not seeing the comments straight ahead, but you'll see me looking down every once in a while because I can see them down there. I don't know. I even switched phones from last week because I thought, oh, well, maybe it was the phone, but I don't know what it is that I'm doing wrong. So it's all that technology thing that I don't know a whole lot about. And speaking of that, my online calendar is a little fluky right now, but we're going to get that fixed. Everybody told me, put your calendar on, online. It'll be so much easier for you. It really isn't. So we've got some dates that are messed up right now on the calendar, but we should have those fixed today. And in speaking on that, I will be in Bel Air, Maryland, November 27th and 28th for privates, and then there is a private intimate group reading on the 28th. So if you click on the events for Bel Air and you see times in October, I'm not there in October. So we'll get those fixed here soon. There is a gallery reading here at Hip Gypsy Emporium. The event is up. The link is live. That is correct. And then December 11th and 12th, I will also be in Bel Air, Maryland for privates and an intimate group reading. So if you're interested in attending or in booking a private or a group, you can go online or you can private message me and we will get that taken care of for you. Just kind of bear with us while we have these technical difficulties. So I always like to set my intentions before I start. That way you know who I am and what I'm about. My name is Stacy Niedenthal. I'm a child of God, evidential medium, and spiritual healer. And I have the ability to channel spirit using love and light for my higher good and the higher good of those that God puts in my path. I'm not the medium that says I see death all around you and you're going to be dead in 10 days. My gift, my prayer, my ability is that God, that spirit, that angels bring in the most loving message to help your spirit heal. If you were sitting across from me, this is part of the intention that you would hear. And there's a little bit more that goes with it, but it's just that understanding that all mediums work differently. Doesn't mean one's right and one's wrong. It just means we have our own different modalities and our own different strengths. And to me, it's always good for you to understand how your medium works before you have a reading. So that is that. We've already gone over the technical difficulties. We've already talked about the dates. So I want to talk to you. Hold on before I get started. I want to talk to you about a question that's been rolling around in my head like all day yesterday. I kept hearing this. And the question was, are you living to die or are you dying to live? And I've just kind of been thinking about that. Like I said, all day yesterday, off and on, this question would pop in my head. And normally when that happens, I know that that's something that I need to speak about. So that's what we're going to speak about. So I've thought that probably the reason why this is rolling around in my head is that I've been reading a book by Anita Moorjano, and it's the book Dying to Be Me. It's a really good book. I'm about halfway through it. I've had the book 2 days. And she is someone who had a near-death experience. And her body was consumed with cancer. She was in a coma, and she had different experiences that she talks about. She was to the point where she was ready to give up and ready to release, but she started seeing how her family was responding to her sickened body. And she had an encounter, I guess is a good way, with the sense of her father's spirit. She speaks about never wanting to disappoint her parents. She speaks about always trying to do something good, to be better, to grow, to help out other people. But Anita was born in a culture where women were to be subservient and not to be independent, I guess is a good way to say it. So the more independent she became, the more she felt like she was letting letting people around her down. And some of the words that she talks about really kind of like struck a chord with me. And we're still here on this earth, and we want to make people happy, and we want to succeed, and we want to do the best, but we are so surrounded in this world by stress and guilt, and these are things that we have to let go of. And it sounds super easy for me just to say, oh, let it go, but it's one of those things that just pops back up into your head. So we have to question, we have to navigate through the things that are going on in the world, through the negativity, through the distrust, through, our struggles within the world. And it really kind of came to light. I was speaking to one of my clients the other day, and she has so much fear and anxiety of where we're going and what's going on in the world, that she has insomnia, and she can't sleep at night because her mind is she's trying to think of all of the, step A, step B, step C, and how to respond to certain things and how to survive. And when I talked to her, we talked about fear. And fear stands for fear everything and run, or face everything and rise. So it's allowing yourself to face those things and rise above them. So when we think about our life, when we think about our day-to-day activities and what we do you ever think about what's your purpose? Why are we here? What are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to accomplish? We rise, we fall, we have struggles, we have successes. Our minds learn to trust certain things and not to trust other things. And, we've had our hearts broken and been let down. But we tend to think about the negative things instead of the positive things. My husband always gives me a rough time that I'm too positive. But I feel as if we think about our successes, if we think about our journey and the things that we've overcome and accomplished, then it makes ourselves a better self, and it makes our thought process different. If you give up, if you stay in the negative, if you're always pessimistic instead of optimistic, like, what have you gained? What have you gained? It's like running a race while somebody's got a big rubber band on you. We went out west a couple years ago, and we got in this bad ice storm. And poor Roxy, there was this ice on the parking lot. And she was trying to run, but there was so much ice that she was not gaining any ground. To me, that's what negativity does. It makes you run, but you're not making up any ground. It puts fear in your life. So I want you to think about dying to live. Have you ever really thought about, when I have a problem, I figure it out. I find a solution. I don't give up and just throw my hands up in the air. We show those who look up to us, who learn from us, how to figure things out, how to untie the knot, how to find, the bright shiny day in a gloomy night. It's figuring it out. It's allowing yourself to just, I'm going to sit for a minute. Instead of sitting in defeat, I'm going to rise in victory by figuring it out. You can run and you can fear everything, but faith will bring you through it. Having faith in yourself, having faith in those that are around you, having faith in God. When you think about faith, faith is the opposite of fear, right? You either have faith that you can make it, or you have fear that you're going to fail. So when I think about faith and fear, faith is that life jacket that keeps you above the water, and fear is that water that's trying to drown you. So how do you find faith? How do you keep moving? It's one step at a time. There's that old joke is, how do you eat an elephant? You eat it one bite at a time. We get overwhelmed or anxious about everything in our life. And if we look at one aspect at a time and take care of that and then focus on something else, it allows the mind, the body, and the spirit to relax a little bit. You've got a pile of bills. Well, you do one bill at a time. Your whole house needs clean. You do one room at a time. You need to put a party together. You send out one invitation at a time. You do one thought process at a time. If you're getting married, you find the venue. That's checked off. You find a DJ or music. That's checked off. You try not to do everything all at once. That's what will help with anxiety. That's what will help you kind of slow down a little bit. And when you think about doing things one step at a time, all of a sudden you have more clarity of the miracles that are around you. And I have friends, I have people who have said to me, I never see miracles. I ask for miracles all the time and I never see them. There's miracles around you every single day. You're the miracle. You woke up in the morning, and you hear me say this 100 times. You opened up your eyes. You sat up. These are all miracles. Being grateful for these small miracles so that the larger miracles can happen. And when you acknowledge the smaller miracles, call them out. Thank you for allowing me to wake up this morning. Thank you for letting my feet touch the ground and that I can stand up. It's being grateful for the things that you have. Instead of waking up and going, oh God, here's another day. Wonder what's going to happen today. You're putting the negativity out in the universe. So if you're saying what's going to happen today, something's going to happen. It's keeping strong. It's loving those people who are around you. When you talk about finding faith, it's surrounding yourself in those who lift you up. It's looking those people in the eyes. It's looking yourself in the eye in the mirror and saying, I can do this. It's having those small moments with yourself, holding on to them and allowing yourself to grow with that. So when we look further at this, our body's impulse is to live. It's to breathe. It's an impulse. We don't have to say, okay, let's breathe in and out and in and out. It's it's our body struggles, our body strives, fights, I think is a better word, to live. So when you're thinking about the impulses of your life, things that happen automatically, you're driving down the road, somebody pulls out in front of you, you don't even think about it, you slam on the brakes or you swerve. You know, I even still to this day, I'll put my arm out to like protect my kids who aren't in the seat beside me, but it's impulse. So what are your impulses? If we do these things without thinking about them, just think about the things that we can do if we have time to think about it. Because automatically we're trained to do these automatic impulses. So if we start to train our minds to automatically think about positive things, what would change in your life? Hold on. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. So I have to take a minute and think, right? So when I put this, are you dying? Are you living just to die? Or are you dying to live? I want you to think about the mark that you're making on this world. Is everything just kind of like humdrum and, and then you don't leave this big mark on the world, or you've missed moments with someone? I feel like we should take calculated risks to enjoy our life to the fullest. I feel as if we are, we get in a rut, I guess is a good way to say it. We get melancholy or bored. What happened to, remember when you were a kid and you were always excited about, I don't know, going to the skate park, or, getting in the car and driving somewhere, going for a hike, but we get to a point where, we're tired and we lose that. It's making the most of what our purpose is on this earth, to bring out the best in yourself, the best that you can be. It's no mistake that you are here. Think about all the people in your life that you have touched and that have touched you. Just thinking about last night when I was writing this, when I think about, all my, as a toddler, just from birth, the doctors and the nurses that were around that helped my mom give birth to me, the family and friends that came around, and, I wouldn't have been able to be taken home that day had my father not had a car that was sold to him by someone. And then it's that ripple effect. There's so many people in your life, teachers. I can't even think about all the teachers and the coaches that have been in my life, and the friends that I have made, and the people who have influenced me the most. I can't even, it's one of those things where I try to think about, all the teachers and all the people who have been an influence, whether it's good or bad, but have touched my life in some way. And when I think about that, then I have to think about, the reverse side of that is how many people's lives have I touched, right? How many, it goes both ways there. So have I lived my best life in front of the people that I'm touching the most? Or have I just kind of been a very negative person? So it's realizing how we're programmed to feel about certain things, the things that we've taught. Are you programmed that you're not good enough? Are you programmed that, no matter what you do, it's going to be wrong? Are you programmed to be spoken to, or to speak when spoken to? It's one of those things that dwells us, that puts us in a depressive state, because this can sometimes be our worst enemy. We realize all of our mistakes, but we don't think about our victories. So I want you to think about the reprogramming process. In my line of work, and you know that I'm a medium, but in my line of work, there's a lot of paranormal things as well that run parallel basically to what I do. And in the paranormal world, negative energies feed off of fear. It grows like a bonfire. So if there's a negative energy that's around you, or a negative entity that's around you, and you are afraid, that grows it, that makes it stronger. So you have to try and find the faith and the positives of things. So when you think about that, I want you to think about the news stories that are around us. People will tune in nonstop to accidents or tragic events. I couldn't think of the word tragic. Stop. Sorry. They will tune in daily like glue to find out what's going on. You know, there's a celebrity that's caught doing such and such or so and so. You know, you want to find out. You're nosy, but you want to find out what's going on with this person. And the news doesn't always get it right. Talk shows, any more talk shows, thrive on controversy. I don't watch talk shows much anymore because there's always yelling. There's always, this person is wrong because of this, and there's yelling and there's controversy with that. There's people that walk off stage. There's people who throw things at each other. So the news, the talk shows, the things that we tune into daily show controversy. Good grief. Facebook, controversy. I first started doing Vibe Tribe a couple years ago because someone had posted a picture of a man who was asking for money to help his family. Now, it was nobody's business. To me, it was, what do you want to call it? Disrespectful for this person to post on Facebook a picture of someone who's saying, help me get food or whatever it was. You don't know that person's situation, but you found it necessary to post this. And the comments that were on that are crazy. It's one of those things, if you don't have something nice to say, shut your mouth. Keep your mouth shut. It's none of your business. So negativity grows, and fears grow in negativity. So instead of adding fuel to the fire, why not stomp that negativity out and try and think of something that is positive with that? Jeff and I were in a small town in Virginia a couple years ago. And the town, how small was it? The town was so small it had one radio station, right? I don't even know if it was an AM station or an FM station. But there were two women that were broadcasting on that, and they were giving like current events of things that were happening. And these two women, probably moms, probably grandmoms, they didn't sound like professional DJs, but they were talking about the kids' soccer practice that was going to be, let's say, tomorrow night at such and such a field. And they were saying, if you have an extra soccer ball, bring it to practice so that other kids can participate. My husband and I kind of laughed about it. This was a news story. They could have put a negative spin on it. And they could have said that the school board has decided to cancel practice because the equipment budget didn't pass. But they found a way to swing it, to make it more positive so that other kids could participate. They put a call to action for the kids. If you're coming to soccer practice and you have an extra soccer ball, bring it along so that other people can participate. That warmed my heart. I will never forget that. And, it shouldn't come to any surprise to me, this small town in Virginia that has a news story like this, because they're a little bit shut off from the world, right? And to me, that's a great thing. There's not the negativity in there. Can you imagine if this was in a bigger city, how that would have been spun on the news, on the radio, of there not being enough soccer balls, for practice? But these two women decided to take a different spin on it and to include all the other kids, to help kids by bringing a soccer ball. How easy is that? It was a solution. It wasn't a controversy. Just think about if this would be our normal way to have solutions to things, right? If your child if you are able to bring an extra sandwich to school or on a field trip for those who can't bring sandwiches so that everybody can eat, How great would that be? There was a news story, and I'm in this too. There was a news story that a child asked her mom about bringing extra food for a kid because they didn't have, they didn't bring lunches, and the school was just giving them saltines or cheese and crackers. So the child was still eating, but it wasn't much. And I know we've worked on changing that. So this child started bringing food, sandwiches for this child. Well, the school actually had a problem with it. Now, I don't know how many years ago this was. I just remember reading this. Because, the school, there was a liability that if someone else brought the food and the child got sick, that there would, instead of looking at how we could help the child, they looked at the liability of the school. So how do you want to look at things? Do you want to live just to exist? Or do you want to explode and just do wonderful things for others? How would this world change if we were able to do this? But now we either don't care, we don't have time, we can't be bothered, and we're not helpful because we don't trust things. We've been scammed, we've been hurt, we've been taken advantage of, and we've given up. So I feel like we need to change the way we look at life. Let's live as if it was our last day on this earth. And again, I thought about this last night. If I was miraculously given the date and the time of my passing, what would I do differently? What would I do differently? Would I spend more times with my family and friends? Would I tell them I love them more? Would I, oh my gosh, I've got so much stuff. Would I start giving things away? Would I, volunteer more for shelters? What would I do? What would be different? But we're not given that time and date that we're past, that of when we're going to pass. To me, because we're expected to do the best that we can until that day. Instead of getting to that moment where we're thinking, oh, I wish I would have done this or I should have done that. Have you ever had, and I know you have, you've had people say, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're here. I've been dying to tell you something. It's been welling up inside of me. I've been dying to tell you something. Well, shouldn't our life be welling up inside of us? I'm dying to live. I want to live the best possible way that I can. I want to do the things for loved ones that are around me and make a difference until I can't make a difference anymore. And then even after I pass, I've made a difference in some way. If we just live to die, what have we accomplished? What have we missed? Have we missed our joy? Have we missed teaching? Have we missed learning? What have we missed if we just, trot on through life without experiences? So I feel as if I'm coming back to that, facing everything and rise. Fight to the best that you can to live. My guess is that barrier is fear. Breaking through those barriers of fear. And I'm not in the shoes of anyone else who has struggled in different ways than I have. And I know that there are probably, some people that are watching this thinking, well, you just don't understand. You've never had this, or my body is starting to shut down and this. And, I will send prayers and blessings, and no, I have not. And I'm not saying that you're not important because you have this struggle. I'm saying to try and be positive because negativity grows. Negativity influences the world by showing others that we've given up instead of fighting the good fight, instead of being, and I've read all these self-help books, a positive word a day, and, things like that. You can't just have a positive word a day. You have to face the things that you fear and work through them. Otherwise, you're just pushing them down to some dark, deep cave within you that will eventually bubble up. So it's facing the things that you fear and conquering them one moment at a time. Okay, so I talked about that. I feel like I'm on a soapbox. So, you know, if you've been following me for any length of time, hopefully you can see what my passion is within this world. It's to change the world for the better. I'm dying to change the world. I'm dying to allow the world to see the good in people, the experiences that we have, the breaking the depression epidemic. I can't think of any other word for it. Depression and anxiety have become an epidemic in this world. And when I think about what we watch on TV, when I think about what we talk about, it's all negative. It's all, you know, gosh, I don't know. It's all controversial. If we could go back in time to that radio show that my husband and I listened to, for the kids to bring a soccer ball if they had an extra one so that others could participate, I think the world would be a better place. If I could help someone participate better in this world by simply giving them something that I already have, whether to have or to use, I'm all in. But I can't do it alone. And that's why I do Tuesday Talks at 10:30. I want us all to come back home to the life that we want to live in the most happy way possible. You hear me say all the time, I hope that you live the life you love and love the life you live. If not, you're the only one that can change it. If there is fear around you that is suffocating you, that is stopping you from living your best life, seek help. Work through it. Face that fear. Face it and rise. Make a difference within yourself, within the world that's around you. Because if you are dying to live, you are fighting with every being within yourself to make yourself better, to make yourself more approachable, to be more giving, to be better, healthier, more loving. Because on your last day on this earth, all these things are going to roll in your head of things that you wish that you had done. And even if you start now, right? Even if you start now to try and change the way that you're living, on your deathbed, there's always going to be those things where you're like, I never got to say this, or I never got to do this. But look at what's important right now, what needs to be done. One day at a time, one person at a time, one bite of that elephant at a time, to help to heal yourself, the mind, the body, and the spirit, so that the impact that you make on the others around you will continue even after you no longer continue. So, change it one action at a time. Don't wait till it's too late. Don't wait. You know, there's a concert you want to see, and you wait until 10 minutes before the concert starts to try and buy a ticket, and it's sold out. You know, don't sell yourself short. God gave you a reason to be here. We may not always know what the purpose is. I don't want to say that it doesn't matter, but I feel like whatever you feel like you're drawn to do it. Ask for guidance. You know, I feel like there's a big change coming around me. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but every night I'm like, show me the path. Guide me. Don't let me miss it. Help me to better serve you, Lord. Help me to help others find you, see you, know you. Help this world to be a better place. For our kids, for our grandkids, for ourselves. What can you do to make a difference? Think about that. Are you living to die, or are you dying to live? This is Tuesday Talks at 10:30. My name is Stacy Neadenthal. I hope this message made you think about some things. Huh? Didn't make you crazy. That's kind of what that sign is. But made you think about things that, I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like there's so much more that we could do, that we could say, that we could be. But the fear stops us. So fear everything and run, or face everything and rise. Face it. I know you can. I have faith in you. It's time for you to have faith in yourself. All right, guys. I hope that this message makes you think. Makes you want to do better. Makes you want to rise. Makes you want to get rid of fear. And turn that freaking TV off. You know? So, November 27th and 28th, Bel Air, Maryland. November 30th, gallery reading here at Hip Gypsy Emporium. And December 11th and 12th, also in Bel Air, Maryland. I'm working on the calendar. Hopefully we get that fixed here in a little bit. I got a text message while I was talking, so I'll check that out and make sure that that has been changed. But, guys, I love you. Be the best that you can be, and pray that you're living the life you love and loving the life you live. If not, you're the only one that can change it. Be the change. Peace out. I love you, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.